Welcome back to Management Made Easy. Let me ask you a question. Do you enjoy watching advertisements? Personally, I don't. Every time I watch a video, the first thing I do is check how long the ad in the top right corner will last. If it's a minute, I'll take a minute to close my eyes and relax. We can all predict that this kind of advertisement isn't very effective, and in fact, advertisers know that too. So, they've started using methods like inserting ads into content. For example, when I watched the drama In the Name of the People online recently, at critical moments, Chin Daoming would come on and sell milk. But even that didn't help, because all it did was strengthen my impression of Chin Daoming and the brand, without triggering an immediate purchase, as my main goal was to watch the drama. Research by scholars shows that when someone sees something they like, the purchasing impulse only lasts for 76 seconds. If a purchase is not made within those 76 seconds, the impulse fades. Many advertisers are disappointed by this research, but some see an opportunity to capitalize on those 76 seconds. For instance, a company in Taiwan developed buy while watching technology, aiming to capture your wallet within that short impulse time. How do they do it? First, they need to create content where people are willing to buy without interrupting their experience. For example, during an intense drama, you are unlikely to stop watching and buy something advertised. You might think an ad would perform best when Chen Tingshang points a gun at Hu Liangping, as that would attract the most viewers. But even then, no one would stop to make a purchase, even if the ad were selling the elegant clothes Chen Tingshang was wearing. So, to sell things through video, the content must be suited for such interruptions. It's not just about how popular the drama is, because the more popular a show, the harder it is to get viewers to stop. One 76-second impulse after another gets wasted. This Taiwanese company solved the problem by producing a show called Late Night Snack. It's a short, 15-minute show that teaches viewers how to cook. They invite famous chefs as hosts and beautiful guests to chat. The key here is that the beautiful guests wear attractive clothing. As the show progresses, every time the guest appears, a small banner on the right side of the screen shows an image of the outfit, offering a buy the same style option. If you click on the icon, the show pauses, and you are directed to a purchase page. The show is not fast-paced, which allows for breaks where you can stop and buy. Everything happens within those 76 seconds of impulse, making it an example of buy while watching. The brilliance of this strategy is that it avoids being an infomercial, which most people would change the channel to avoid. Instead, the show cleverly teaches you how to cook, with no tension in the plot, making it easy to stop and buy something without leaving the program. After placing the order, you can return and continue watching. This method embeds shopping into entertainment, allowing for very subtle spending. Now let's move on to how businesses also take advantage of your subliminal awareness. What does subliminal awareness mean? Originally a psychological concept, it has been applied in marketing. So, what exactly does it mean? Let's take our vision as an example. The human eye is a light receptor. When light hits the retina, it stimulates the optic nerve, and we perceive brightness, which is the first signal. The brain then becomes aware of the brightness and colors, which is the process of seeing something. Watching a movie is essentially a process where we receive continuous signals and interpret them consciously. In this process, there are two areas that businesses can exploit. One is using brightness, and the second is the gaps between frames. This leads us to the concept of subliminal awareness. How does brightness work? If we gradually dim a movie projector, once the brightness drops below a certain level, we can no longer see anything. This threshold where the visual system can no longer perceive light is called the threshold. Many people might not realize that below this threshold, light is invisible to the naked eye, but our subliminal awareness can still sense it. Businesses can take advantage of this by subtly manipulating light levels to influence our perception. The second area that can be manipulated is the gap between frames. Businesses can use flashing signals, such as displaying an image for a fraction of a second. It's so fast that you think you didn't see it, but your subliminal awareness has already picked it up. What happens when you combine these two techniques? Let me give you an example. In the 1950s, there was a book in the United States called The Hidden Persuaders, which mentioned a story about using these two techniques together to influence people's buying behavior. According to the story, an experiment was conducted in a cinema for 6 weeks. During this time, 45,000 people watched movies in the cinema, and by using this technique, popcorn sales increased by 58%, and cola sales grew by 18%. The method was simple. They played a subliminal advertisement every 5 seconds, which lasted only 3 milliseconds each time. The ad was simple, just the words, "Eat popcorn, drink cola." The ad was embedded within the movie itself, so you couldn't see it with your naked eye, but your subliminal awareness could pick it up. It was claimed that these two words led to the increase in popcorn and cola sales. Though later it was proven that this story was false, research on similar topics continued. An American author later wrote a book introducing the concept of subliminal seduction. He discussed how some manufacturers exploit subliminal awareness to sell more products. For example, on the surface of a Leslie cookie, there was a hidden message that read, "Sex." Though the naked eye couldn't see it, subliminal awareness could still pick it up. The author argued that at the very least, this made Leslie cookies more appealing and acceptable to both men and women. In the 1960s, the U.S. Congress even debated whether to legislate against such promotional methods, as they could penetrate the deeper layers of our consciousness. However, due to a lack of strong scientific evidence, they eventually dropped the idea. Fast forward to 1999, the U.S. Federal Trade Commission passed a law prohibiting flashing advertisements like "Eat popcorn" and similar practices. Interestingly, this type of flashing advertisement even appeared during the 2000 U.S. presidential election. In the race between Al Gore and George W. Bush, Gore proposed a healthcare reform plan, and Bush's campaign ads aimed to criticize it. Whenever the healthcare plan was mentioned, the TV ad would flash the word "bullshit." Normally, this wouldn't be visible, but when shown in slow motion, the word could clearly be seen. This ad aired 4,400 times in 33 states, and Gore's team eventually exposed it, leading to its removal. However, Americans still debate whether this method invaded voters' subliminal awareness and influenced the election results. Subliminal advertising is often referred to as invisible advertising. Following the events mentioned above, American scholars conducted extensive research, and now there's substantial evidence showing that it does affect the human awareness system, generating certain emotions. While it may not directly lead to purchases, once these emotions are triggered and meet a more noticeable stimulus, like the smell of popcorn, the consumer's motivation to buy may immediately arise, and the behavior may follow. Through these examples, you might begin to understand why I say we are often being set up. We live in traps every day, especially in the age of the internet, where it's easier and more direct to manipulate us. To truly understand the nature of these market traps, you need to grasp human psychological and behavioral mechanisms. This is why I spend so much time talking about cognitive dissonance and subliminal awareness. It may not seem like traditional management, but more like psychology. However, I want you to remember an important point today. The future research outcomes in psychology, neuroscience, and brain science will greatly influence the field of management. That's why I'm introducing these concepts, methods, and tools to you. In 20 years, the landscape of management may be shaped by these insights. The new concepts I'm sharing can help you understand the changes that might be coming to management in the next 2 decades. This is Management Made Easy. See you in the next class.